Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spiritual Insight Show. I am Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman. Let me fix my little pen here. Oh, and welcome to the show, the Spiritual Insight Show, Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman. This show is brought to you by True Psychics Network. Oh, the dogs agree. You know, I was all ready to go. I was here at my desk early. I was like, yes, I can start the show on time. No running behind, nothing. Yeah, the dogs. They don't care what you're doing. So I had to retrieve a stuck ball, So you'll probably hear them play now. It's all right. It's all good. Anyway, welcome. Welcome to the show. Last week was a radio show only, and that was with an interview with True Psychics Network's, one of the True Psychics Network's newest members, Reverend Sheila Scott. So that was a great show. If you missed it, that show was an evening show. I do believe it was at 9 o'clock. So you can always listen to that archive show in the radio archives. You can just go to the radio page of True Psychics Network, and while you're there, note the changes in the show schedule. Leslie Dolan, who hosts the Healing Hands show, she's moved from Monday nights to Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. She'll be on a new time, new date, new time. Okay, so be sure to check that out. You don't want to miss her show. Let me just take a deep breath here. Woo! A lot of great energies lately, I feel like, You have to say it's great, don't you? Even if it's not. Okay, you don't have to say it, but let's just try to work through it so that we get to this space of we're okay. We're okay with it. So some of you may have noticed I am wearing gold today. I usually don't wear, I do have gold pieces. I usually don't wear a lot. But interestingly enough, it was like this is double fish. My sea creatures and gold was speaking to me today. So I'm like, okay, let's go with it. And you're going to hear chimes in the background. I have chimes in my window. And the wind is very powerful today. So welcome the element of wind to the show. You can see it move the plants behind me. You'll probably hear the Tibetan bells in the window. But it's just, all good. Reminds us to take a deep breath, to go with the flow of the wind, right? So, it's all good. All right. Most of you know that I start the show with numerology and the number of the day. So, looking at today's date is October 7th, 2014. So the whole object of numerology is to get numbers down to single digit between 1 and 9. So we're going to look at today's date, the complete date, okay? Complete date. And so October is 10, but 1 plus 0 is 1. So October is a 1 month, which a lot of people believe that October is the beginning of the year for them. 1 is very much a number about starting something, starting, a new year, a new project, and a new direction. It's about newness, all right, a rebirth of some sort. So, 1 for October. Today's date's the 7th. And then 2014 is a 7 year. All right, if you write out 2014, 2 plus 0 is still going to be 2. Then 2 plus 1 is 3. And 3 plus 4 is 7. So we have 1 plus 7 plus 7. All right? And that equals 15. And 1 plus 5 is 6. So, my eyes must be playing tricks on me. Hold on, let me just check the chat. I'm sorry. I get distracted very easily. Yes, the number 6. Very good. For those of you watching live, I hope that you are watching this. Whether if you're watching from the TPN TV page from the website, you can click on the link there to get to Ustream, because Ustream has the chat box. If you do not wish to chat, you can stay right where you are. But if you watch from Ustream, you have the option of chatting with other people in the chat room, and also with me. I do see the chat, so I do see the comments, and this is where you can give me some feedback, or if you have any questions as well. For those of you watching on an archive show, watching the recording of it, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. And you don't unfortunately have the option of chatting, but that's okay. I'm sure you'll be able to catch a live show soon, and you can always comment. Send comments, or if you have any questions, you can always email them to me, and also comment, because this show is shared not only on True Psychics Network YouTube channel, but on my personal YouTube channel as well. You can find me on YouTube. It's Goldylocks Temple of Healing. I have the shows put on there, the Spiritual Insight Show, and also some of the videos that I have made. So be sure to check that out. Check the channel out, like it. So a lot of comedians in chat today. Yay! Love it. Alright, let me get back to the number of the day, number 6. Woo! Alright. Responsibilities most likely at home, but also at work, are in the spotlight today. You're a source of emotional strength for others. Open your heart and let your love and friendship counsel your loved ones to anyone who is in need of attention. It will be returned to you later, but that shouldn't be the reason why you do that, though. All right, don't do it just to get it back. No. Today is a good time to get in touch with those you haven't talked to in a while, and financial gains are possible. So it's looking really good for the money. Now, this is all things coming to fruition. This isn't starting something new. We do have to be careful financially. Mercury retrograde started several days ago on the 4th, on Saturday, and runs till October 26th. Mercury retrograde is not as bad as everyone thinks it is. It is for business and money if you try to start something new, or like sign a contract, or buy a car, buy a house, do something. Everything may seem okay at first, but then things are going to start to happen. There's going to be some problems, there's going to be some issues, and you'll find that you won't get it fixed until probably November. So the best thing to do is just don't even worry with anything like that right now. It's not time for that. Okay? It's time for us to do our inner work anyway, to take care of what we're supposed to be taking care of spiritually. That's what inside work is. And I know some people might cringe because it's so easy to do outside work, but we have to take care of this inside work. We are beings, we're not doings, right? So, yes, there's some things we have to do, but let's remember to be as well. All right, we have to be. All right, so speaking of numerology, we also have on the True Psychics Network website, there is a magazine tab. You click on the magazine tab. You can read all the wonderful submissions, articles on anything holistic, mind, body, and soul. You'll find Jane Alton's Daily Numerology. She is the UK's #1 numerologist, and we're very honored to have her be a part of the True Psychics Network magazine. Sorry. Oh, I felt it coming. Woo! Excuse me. And then also we let you know about the upcoming shows are posted there as well. So it's something that you can subscribe to. You subscribe to the TPN newsletter, magazine, and you will get emails anytime there is a new posting in the magazine. And so speaking of newsletters, though, if you go to my website, whitesagewoman.com, you can sign up for my newsletter. And I have them preset, like I think you get 18 every other day. And then any messages that I send out as well, any emails. But it's not every day, and I don't spam you. Everything is all protected, your email. So thank you. For those who have subscribed, thank you so much. Okay. Woo! All right. So, oh, yes. And the horoscopes. On True Seconds Network again, every week a new member channels the horoscopes for the week. And this week, the horoscopes are done by Reverend Sinlu and Graphia. Okay. So be sure to check those out. See what energies are favorable for you this week. All right. So, yes, I know we're all feeling like maybe we feel kind of displaced. The energy's either like really weird or it's just either really intense or really laid back. I'm sure all of us are feeling it. It's going to be different for everybody because we all are different and unique in how we are responding and even, yes, reacting to all the energies that's going on. All right. So, let me take some water here. Also finding our diets can be very, very sensitive, and it's very important to stay hydrated. We must stay hydrated, right? So let's make sure we do that. Okay. Taking a deep breath. Oh my goodness. All right, so we'll get back to the energies in just a moment. I want to share with you too the crystal of the week. We always do like a crystal or gemstone. And the crystal gemstone this week is coral. Coral. Now, coral provides protection and guards against violence, accidents, and theft. Coral. Whether you're guided to wear the color, you don't have to necessarily have the crystal or the gemstone. You can wear the color. You can if you don't want to wear the color, you can decorate with it, whether it's a pillow or just, and now really coral's so close to the colors of the season of fall, isn't it? Like think of the leaves, pumpkins. So it's very close to orange. So corals and oranges and those kind of colors, it's really, really wonderful how it all comes together and means protection, guards against violence, accidents, and theft, especially this time of the year, the fall. There's so many levels, so many reasons. Okay, so, oh, hello everyone in chat. More people are coming in. Welcome to the show. All right, so that is the crystal gemstone for the week. We also do a power spirit animal. And the animal that showed up is alligator. Alligator. Alligator is maternal protection. These the characteristics of this would signify. Maternal protection, protection from manipulation, understanding deceit, and having patience. Ooh, yes. I love the wind. It excites me when it blows and it's like so invigorating, isn't it? And to feel the wind all around, and then it's even to me when the wind blows a lot, I have my conversations with Odin increases, but I call Odin Broden because he's my bro. So that's just my personal little Broden. So Broden is here with us today and is going to make this show really fun. So now let's be nice and be gentle, Broden, okay? He's going to probably provide some more humor. Anyway. All right. The topic this week, which came to me actually this past weekend, it's the blame game. We're all guilty of it. Just raise your hand now. We've all been there. We all do it. And we catch ourselves in even now being engaged in the blame game. The blame game. All right? So, let's get to this now. This past weekend, I had a family event that happened with one of my sons, who just was like friction. And the intention, my intention, was of one to help establish independence, but instead it was misunderstood as control. And I'll be specific. I don't mind sharing. All right. It's not like he watches the shows anyway. I'm kidding. My youngest son, both my children are very gifted, the youngest one. And I understand that. I went through a phase, my youngest one, and I'm not going to talk to them like they're about teenagers, but they're actually, my youngest one is 22, my oldest is 23. All right, they're both very gifted. The 23-year-old, my oldest, has a lot of patience, and he responds. He's a beautiful example of response. I must have done something right in my life. I love both of them, don't get me wrong. And my youngest son challenges and tests and pushes, so I know that that's my payback for what I did to my mom. Oh, come on. Anyway. It's not me. We got to have a well-balanced family. And there are no favoritisms, too. I also always say that. There's no favoritisms between any of the kids, between any family member. All right, so this past weekend was, now, both my sons have jobs. The youngest son just got a full-time job with the company he was working at. Was really, really proud and pleased. And he got full-time several months ago, so we let him level out with his pay. And all we asked was that they haven't been, and I know a lot of you may go, what? They haven't been contributing as far as paying money towards, just the household. So we started charging them, whether you want to call it rent or just, anyone knows when you have two sons that would put on an insurance policy or car insurance, I'm telling you, it tripled. So we've been taking care of everything. No problems. But we want to teach them responsibility too. All right. And let's go ahead now and start. Well, I have to tell you, my youngest son is ultra cheap. He will talk himself. He should be a lawyer. No, he can talk himself out of a reason why he shouldn't have to do something instead of just doing it. So it goes into this great debate, this whole thing. I mean, and this has been something they both knew was coming for months and months and months. We gave October 1st as the date to start, right? So here we are the weekend, and my oldest comes up and goes, oh, I remember, here, how much do I owe you? How much is it? And this just creates a whole thing. The youngest going, we didn't talk about this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, here we go. Here comes the fast talking. Here comes all of this. And I was like, I'm trying to calm down because I'm feeling. Because sometimes we did this, even our family members, we love them. But how many of them are like, when they start spinning that energy vortex, they feel like a tornado, an energy tornado. And you just feel the energy start. You feel like you're losing balance. And I felt like, you're not sucking me into this energy vortex. You need to stop. This is how my inner dialogue is. I'm having this conversation, trying to keep everything calm and peaceful. Short of going and lighting incense and smudging and writing it. No! I wouldn't do that. Right? Maybe I should. Act crazy. Or crazier. Yeah, let me correct myself. But anyway. So, what started off as we had every good intention of it being a good conversation. And I'm watching, my husband's just standing there not saying anything at first. And I'm just like, really? Oh, I'm just doing this? And And I'm telling every parent has probably felt this way, as far as if they don't feel like their partner's supporting them, then their partner must be. If you're not part of the solution, are you part of the problem? Are you one of the kids? So I was watching this aspect of my thoughts too, going, just be careful. He's very quiet at first. Maybe he's just thinking of something to say. Don't jump to conclusions. Just stay calm on all fronts, right? So trying to stay calm. Not take anything out of text, because I felt myself slipping. And I was like, okay, all right. And so then it went to this crescendoed, kind of blew a little. Always try to make sure, keep the voices calm, don't yell and scream. But hey, sometimes it happens. And the yelling and screaming and who can talk over whom, it's all a defensive ploy, a defensive play. You're upsetting me, so I'm going to build this wall. This is my protection. My protection is getting upset. Okay? And raising the voice. And see who can be the loudest. Well, we kind of just backtracked and just stopped. This is like, just stop. Here it is. This is how it is. We'll come back and talk about it later. So then it, he has a mouth on him. He can. And not blaming anyone. This is how he is. I was the same way. I was very mouthy when I was young. And so I was like, but I'm not justifying his actions either. Everyone's just got to have their own independence, even in a community, right? With a family. So we told him, fine. If you don't want to pay, then you need to get your own insurance. You need to get your own phone plan, cell phone plan. You need to do this. So that way you don't have to pay us anything. You just get completely established on your own. Go do some prices. Go do this. Go do that. Right? So, okay, go think about that. Then there was a pause. So I go and they leave. Him and his girlfriend, they leave. And for a little bit. Then my husband and I were talking for a few minutes, and then it was just like, okay, well. So I'm going on with my day, doing my chores, whatever, and then I felt so sad. And this heaviness, there was this intense heaviness. And I had to go run errands, go grocery shopping, go do things, right? And so I'm doing this and I'm watching my energy, and I got to be careful. I can't be out in public feeling this way, because I'm just going to set myself up for more attention being attracted to me. And so I was like, I felt sad, and I felt myself going, what did I do wrong? Now right there, that's placing blame. It's placing blame on you. I'm not talking about just on blame that you're going to place on others. I'm talking about blame that you place on yourself. And I caught myself doing that. I was like, stop. First off, I'm not going to have a pity party. I felt myself getting ready to burst into tears. And I'm in public. Not that I mind, but it's just kind of, again, you got to be careful. So I'm like, all right, let's just stop. And I'm not going to play this game. I'm not going to blame myself. Everything happened just as it is. Now let me tell you, you've heard me say all the time, be grateful, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Be grateful for this day. Be grateful for everything that happens in your life. And think about this, something that you think is a happy moment, or you feel is a happy moment. You go, yes, thank God, or praise God, or yay. You give some sort of celebration to the universe. But when something goes wrong, what do? Immediately place blame. Whose fault is this? How did this happen? No, don't place blame. You know what I said? I got to turn this around. So I have to be grateful even for this painful moment. And I had to sit there and choke the words of, I am grateful. Just whisper it, Because again, I'm out in public and I don't want people to think I'm this crazy lady talking to herself. And then I was watching my inner dialogue, that thought. I am grateful. Yes, it hurts. That sometimes it feels like we're having this miscommunication. Forget being on the same page. I don't think we're in the same book. I don't even think we're in the same section. Here, parents feel they're in the reference section. But my son's talking to me like I'm in sci-fi. I'm like, it's not real, Mom. Oh, whatever. But it is. It is very real. So I had to be grateful and embrace the moment. Embrace it. And go, I'm grateful for this because I know it's a turning point. I know it's helping, whether it's my son, or me, or the whole family aspect, the whole family dynamic. It's helping. And I honestly believe this. And so I go home, and my husband and I are unpacking groceries, and my oldest son was home. He comes down, he helps for a little bit. And the youngest one comes back with his girlfriend. And so, my youngest son hangs around a little bit, and he was like, well, I did some research. I think I might go ahead and get my own car insurance to help, ease the burden of the high insurance. And he really did find a good deal with a respectable company, and I was pleased. Now he has his own car. He bought a car. So he's paying for everything. That's all in his name. So he should just take that next step, right? Pay his insurance. So I was really, really happy that he was doing all of this. And he goes, and I just took a deep sigh. And he was like, he goes, are you okay? And I stopped and looked at him. And I was like, what? Wow. You paid attention to me, deep sigh. First off, your kids always pay attention. They might not always say something. But then I was like, Stefan, I'm just going to tell you something. This hurts. Ask any mother, ask any father, ask any loving parent. It hurts to have these conversations with their kids because the intention on the parent's part is good, and then it turns out not to be. I was like, it hurt. It hurt me. I don't like arguing with you. I want us to, come in the middle. It's not, I'm going to have my way. You're going to have your way. Let's compromise. Can we find just a peaceful place to be on? Can we please find that peaceful ground? And he was like, yes. Yes. And I was like, I'm very proud of you. I'm glad that you found a car insurance that you can afford. And he goes, well, I thought you'd be mad. I'm like, why? I want you. I support you and in your independence. I'm not trying to hold you back, And I think that's what he thought, was you just don't want to cut the string, so to speak, with us. And I was like, are you kidding me? We want you to be independent and be successful. And a lot of times, though, the youngest child, watch out for that youngest child, always he's been a go-getter. Always been this. Go, 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 go. Always seems like, I know he loved the family, but he didn't want to be a part of it. And we really thought he was going to pack up and move to California, because in his youth, he was always, I'm going to move to the West Coast. I'm going to move here. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, even as a teenager, right? Well, he changed his mind. Now, the moment, no, that's over. I don't need to go there. I don't need to do that. I'm like, oh, okay. But he's always been the one that has pushed the independence. Whereas my oldest is just fine and comfortable right where he is. The youngest has always got to try to push. And that's okay. Everyone is unique, individual. I love their uniqueness. And yes, it can be trying. But that's the beautiful thing, like I said, is by me taking that deep breath, being grateful, things did turn around. We had a great conversation. He helped put groceries away. It was very loving, and we gave each other a hug. I mean, it was just all so very beautiful. And it ended, what a way to complete that day. All right. Now, this was Saturday. Now, so one of the guys comes home with the Transformers movies. Hey! So we watched Transformers Saturday night. It's a great movie. So that meant that Doctor Who was recorded. I'm a big Doctor Who fan. So now here we are into Sunday. And the Doctor Who episode, if you haven't seen the last episode, you really should watch it. Like I said, I really feel like a lot of the shows, sci-fi, is really spiritual in some sense. And I've always felt Doctor Who is very spiritual. Because here you have this time traveler who's supposed to know everything. And people treat him like they would treat a psychic medium, right? Well, you've been back and forth. You should know the outcome of this certain situation. All right? There was a lot of, I could really relate to him in this episode. And also, though, to his sidekick, Clara. Anyway, if you don't watch Doctor Who, I suggest that you watch the last episode. It's about, and here we go. I'll just go through really short, and I'll tell you why I'm mentioning this is because by the time that episode was over, I was like, I know what I'm talking about on my show now. The guides just keep giving it to me time and time and time again. And it also, that show and me going through that whole process brought up a lot of my past experiences to justify all of this. So just to put this all into place, to see that big picture. Let me say that. So anyway, the whole thing, I'm going to try to do short version because I can get long-winded. But with Doctor Who and not to ruin it. But the moon, haha. Speaking of which, tomorrow is a full moon. We're in full moon energies. So the moon was unbalanced. They went to the year 2049 on the moon. And the moon was, they had to figure out what's going on with the moon because it was affecting the Earth, of course. It was affecting, more dangerous tides, flooding. It was affecting the way of life on Earth. And so, but they had disbanded like the NASA program a long time ago. They had to find a shuttle to get up there, So you had the Earthlings, so to speak, the astronauts, and then Doctor Who and Claire landing on the moon. Anyway, it was really beautiful. They also had one of the school students with them. So she's a young girl with Doctor Who and Clara, because Clara is a school teacher. So, all right. So now the whole moon is disruptive. And these astronauts brought with them, and ironically, it was like 2 or 3 men and a female, and the men died. Because there was this bacteria. They thought they were under attack by some alien, but it was actually, come to find out, bacteria. Long story short, Doctor Who did some, analysis as he always does, and realized that the moon is an egg, and is getting ready to hatch. That it's a womb, and that there is a creature in the middle. All right, of the moon, and this is what's making it disruptive. And so what they thought was like alien attack was bacteria on the surface taking care of this sacred womb, right? This womb. So interestingly enough, they had this conversation. They had to choose, do we destroy the moon? They brought nukes with them on the shuttle. Do we destroy the moon, right? Or do we just let it be and see what happens? So I apologize. My oldest son now is home from work, so my dogs are going to... I'll stop in just one moment. Sorry about that. So he, it's okay. Come here, Ty. Calm down. So whenever my son is bringing home friends that the dogs haven't seen yet, this is what they go through. Has to pass Ty's inspection. Anyway, back to the show. So again, Clara turns to Doctor Who. Well, what is the outcome then? What do we choose? Because and he goes, no, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not going to do anything. He actually got in the TARDIS, but he looked at me. He goes, you got 3 women here. a young girl, Clara, who's like middle-aged, and then this other astronaut woman who's older. And he goes, it's up to you. It's up to the women to save or to make this decision. Let me say that. It's up to the women to make this decision. And he got in his TARDIS and he's left. Well, first of all, Clara was pissed off. Clara's pissed off that he left. How could you just leave? All right? When you are the one who probably knows the outcome and you're not helping, blame immediately was placed, right? Stop. Now, spiritually beautiful, how many of you caught on immediately, all right, the young maiden, the mother, and the crone aspect, and dealing with the moon? Beautiful, if you didn't catch on to that. And it was up to them to decide the fate of the moon. Now, they were able to have one more transmission with Earth, and they asked Earth to decide, because Clara didn't want to harm any being, because Clara has been Doctor Who's travel companion, so she always knew that all beings, even if they look different, are living beings, and we still have to follow that harm none rule, right? So she didn't want to destroy this being. So they put it up to Earth to vote, and quite honestly, either by keep your lights on to save this creature, or if you want us to blow the moon up, turn all the lights off, go completely dark. Well, everyone went completely dark. And so now, Clara and the young girl, schoolgirl there, is just like, that's not good. And the older astronaut lady was ready to push a button to just blow the planet up, or to blow the moon up. And Clara reaches in and aborts it, stops it. And there is no reversing anything. All right, if the woman were to detonate the bombs, there was no, you're not stopping it. There is no reversal. There was no abort code. It had to follow through. Well, the same with if you did hit the abort before hitting the actual detonation, there wasn't a reversal of that. So, at that moment, after the decision was made, Doctor Who shows back up with the TARDIS and tells them 3, 1, 2, 3, in here now. So they get in. Now, Clara's still mad. She's completely pissed off at him. How dare you leave? All right. So they land on Earth on the beach. They look at the moon. They're watching this now. Now they see this beautiful, it looks like a dragon, this beautiful creature come out of the moon. And it's the shell, it's eggshell. So it just dissipates, doesn't hurt, it's not harmful, falling onto Earth. You know how gentle eggshell is. So it just goes away. And this creature flies away. And so they're sitting there going, what now? What do we do now? And during that moment is when, they were starting to have that conversation. Clara was starting to, why did you leave? You could feel the whole blame thing starting up. Then the young girl goes, look, there's another moon. You know what? There's a new egg. That's what happened. A new egg was laid. Ah, a new moon. And that's when the doctor goes, we call that a new moon. And I was like, yay, it's so cool. Anyway, so after everything had happened, the shock wears off, so to speak. When we go through this, right, how many of us go into the mode of we have to do something, and then after it's done and we review it and analyze it, we get upset. And that's what happened. Clara got upset with Doctor Who, and how dare you leave me? And you knew the outcome, you knew what was going to happen, you knew that this creature was going to fly away and leave an egg. And he was like, I didn't know anything because it wasn't written. He goes, you have to understand there's choices. And he said, but I do know eggs and the effects of eggs and beings that are hatched. And so it was all very beautiful. He goes, so, making his diagnosis, so to speak, from that. And he was like, but y'all had to make the decision. Now, She was mad at him, so mad at him. Because, why? She was scared. She was scared. That whole situation scared her to the core. And she got so mad that she was like, I just don't want to see you anymore. I'm not going to go on any more trips with you. Done. I'm done. She blamed him. Why? To make the decisions. Because she had to make the decision. And she got mad at him for, oh my goodness. She was used to him making decisions and she would follow him because she completely trusted him. But now he was like, you need to make this decision. It's up to you. And she got mad at him. He empowered her. But when you play the blame game, are you pushing away, you're denying and pushing away all that responsibility. You're pushing away the empowerment. That's not good. You shouldn't do that. Blame game is a block. All right? It causes blockages in all areas of your life. And you shouldn't do that. Playing the blame game. So that's what she did. It scared her, shook her to the core that she was right there of making the wrong decision. What if she made the wrong decision? Right? Well, it's very simple. This is where we can't analyze. We can't dwell too long in it. Anytime you make a decision supporting life, it's always the right decision. Anytime you make when you follow the universal harm none law, it's a right decision. All right? But it made her step into her empowerment, which was a little uncomfortable for her. Which most women maybe, and not just women, men, if you're used to being suppressed, making a decision is going to feel uncomfortable for you. But it's part of your empowerment. You have to do it. Now, this also, watching this, helped me because immediately, sometimes my family doesn't like watching TV or movies with me because I'll see the spiritual aspect and start talking about it, and they're like, stop it, we're going to turn it off or we're all going to leave the room. But I waited till it was over. And I said some things, and at this point it was just my husband and I in the room, and I told him, I was like, that's beautiful. You know why Clara got all upset? And we talked about it. Hey, listen. I was like, I have to tell you, I had to heal. I was upset and very resentful for a long time of my husband being in the Navy, of leaving. I always felt like he made a choice, you know what I mean, of leaving me and his family to go out to sea. He, though, was looking at it as a way to make sure that we were financially set, or just, as a way to take care of us, whatever. So we looked at it differently. I never wanted to be a single parent. My mom was. But I didn't think about this till later, that how many friends come to me that are single parents. And it's something that I know I had to embrace. Well, I ended up being a single parent anyway. If you want to think about it, with him being gone a long time with the military, the submarine force, they're gone a lot, these submarine guys. And one time on one boat, there was 4 years. Another wife and I counted out how long the guys were out and how long they were in, and they were home out of 4 years for 14 months. And the boys were small. That was hard on all of us. Everyone knows that. Anyone that has a partner, a spouse that's in the military or that requires travel, it's hard. But you get through it. But you want to know something? I looked at him, and as much as I had been resentful, and you get to that resentful stage in the blame game, and then you even want to sabotage relationships at that point, because it's like, no, you just aren't accepting, that maybe you were wrong. Well, it was a huge pill to swallow that, I was wrong. I was wrong in the way I was viewing everything. I was wrong for participating in the blame game. And I actually looked at my husband and said, you know what? Thank you, because you helped empowered me. You made me be independent. You made me do the things I didn't want to do, but I had to do. And I understand that my whole life has been like this. And I have been males in many past lives, very strong. All right, I was mad when I was young because I wasn't a male. I was mad. I'm male, and then my skin was white. I was like, I'm a female, and my skin is really white. Now, ever since I was a teenager, though, Isis has been coming through. Divine feminine goddesses and deities have been coming to me to help me to embrace and love. Now, when I was a male figure, I'm not sure if I was respectful, but I do remember one life where it was very balanced and respected the divine feminine, especially the rise of the church that didn't know what to do with the divine feminine. They were smart to have kept Mother Mary, right? But so I knew it was there. But as a female, I have to perfect this. And every part of my life, every experience, even today, is helping me to be more empowered as a woman. And interesting, like what was mentioned in Doctor Who about how he said that it was going to be the women who had to save the world. There is ancient prophecies of women. Now there is this one about the Western woman bringing the world back to peace, but it's just women in general. I really feel that. And maybe because the Western women, the women on the Western part of the world, we do have maybe some more freedoms than the women in the East right now. All right? So we can make these things absolutely possible, make these things happen. So again, when you work through everything, it really helped me. And then when you can heal, I went back and healed my past when I did that. When I told him, thank you for empowering me. Because when we get mad and upset and we say things to each other, words that we don't really mean, but are powerful, and they can sink you if you allow them to, and if you hold on to those words. Words are weighted. So it was just lifting everything and understanding and appreciating. And so it was like grateful for a very eventful weekend. But like I said before, blockages, it causes a blame game, causes blockages in all areas of your life, including abundance, including the money. Right? Now, how do you figure? How does it block abundance? Well, if you're making excuses as to why money's not coming in or why you're not being in a particular financial status, playing the blame game. It's because of this. It's because of that. Or, here we go. We're supposed to take responsibility for our own healing and our own health. And this means paying attention to anything that's going to take us off track, mind, body, and soul. This is I don't want to say it's not really a new concept, but it's one that we have been separated from for thousands of years. And we're just reuniting with this and awakening to this concept that we are empowered. We have this. We don't need a third party outside of us. God's not outside of us. Our power's not outside of us. It's inside. All right? We don't need anybody to get into that power. We just go within. We have the keys, the answers, always. Always, always. All right? And we shouldn't go to someone external. And what do I mean by that? Look what religion has taught us. You have to go have confession. You have to go do this. You can only be blessed by certain people. That's not true. That is incorrect. You can bless people. You can go out and participate in the blessing with nature and become one with the nature. Again, we're always connected. We've just kind of become disconnected. So reconnect, become one with nature. It's very easy if you're an animal lover. You understand that connection with the animals. And so it's all of this, just plugging back in. Now, with abundance, I have seen, and I've even gone through myself too. We've always been, like we haven't always been, but, being a one-income family, I didn't know how I was going to. I kept getting signs of you're going to get your own, you're going to do your own business. You're going to have your own business. And we were one income family because we chose to homeschool. All right. So I wasn't going to work. I was going to pay attention of the kids' education. All right. So we learned to live that way. But when you start asking questions of how is this going to happen, and maybe try to take control over something, you lose it, and it goes wickedly wrong quickly. All right. I had to completely trust. And how many of us do this? We're right at the threshold of our spirituality. We're going to take that step forward. But then it's like we get scared and we want to take a step back. This is that whole empowerment process. Oh my God, it's scary. Uh-oh, what do? I need to make the decision. It's hard to make the decision. What if I make the wrong one, right? So we play that little blame game dance, all right? And we cannot do that. Completely take that out of the factor and know that each step that you take is for the highest and greatest. And you have to absolutely ask for that. Don't ask for a detailed itinerary. I need a detailed program of what the next week is going to hold for me, so there's no surprises. And there's a commercial like that, an orange juice commercial, right, where we sit down with all his situations and people he's going to run into. And today you're going to get into a fender bender. Today you're going to do this. Today you're going to do that. No. Some of us can maybe see some of it that comes up, but again, it's how you're either going to react or respond to the situation. All right? It's the choice of getting through that. I want to quickly give you a little example with abundance-wise. Okay? And this was given to me this morning, and the guys were showing me I need to talk about the situation I had completely forgotten about. But, yeah. I had many jobs, of course, until you find like you think is a right job, but then that wasn't the right job. Let's see, when I had my first son, right before I gave birth to him, or I think at the end of the pregnancy, I quit a really good job that I had with the power company in Virginia so that I could prepare for his birth. And then to settle into the role now of mommy. And so then, surprise, surprise, 6 months later, I was pregnant again. And so it was this whole, oh my goodness, concern for money, so to speak. Oh wow, because kids just cost so much money. So, my husband was on shore duty at the time, and so I was like, you know what? I missed having adult conversation. I was like, so why don't I just go back into the workforce? And I was able to step into a job very easy. And it was at, what's this? I don't want to say their name. You'll probably figure it out anyway, but it's a big ticket issuing place, a place that issues tickets to events. Okay? So I worked there during the pregnancy with my second child. And so, until I gave birth to him, I was there for like good 6 months. Maybe 5 months. Anyway, there was a situation that had happened. There was one of the employees, a young employee, she was married. She had a young son. And she came to me when I had only seen her, just, how you see an employee is, you see your fellow coworkers, hi. I didn't really know her too well. We would chat sometimes in the break room, but that was about it. Well, she comes to me this one day, and she was just, hey, I want to share with you something. She goes, there is an offer. There's a group of men that want to buy tickets, it has to be like illegally done. Pretty much what it came down to is taking a batch of tickets and selling it to the private. You're not supposed to do that, right? And selling it to this private group and making a lot of money off the process. Now, I looked at her and I said, that is a very bad idea. One, I'll take no part in it. And I don't want, I don't want any part of this. And you should not do this. She goes, you don't understand. I have a young son and my husband's an alcoholic. And this money will help me leave. I was like, you can just leave. Why is money being your block? You can just do it. And I was like, I'm just telling you, just warning you, it's a bad, it just reeks. It's not good. But you do what you have to do. Well, guess what? She comes to me a week later, mad, blaming me. She was like, started to hear some things going around. Started to hear something. It was kind of kept hush-hush, but she comes to me and she said, you told somebody, didn't you? We got caught. And her and two other girls, I don't remember who the two other girls were. Her and the two other girls were having to meet with the higher-ups that day. Because she thought I busted. She thought I told on them. And she got mad at me and tried to play the blame game. And I said, no, sweetheart. You're not going to blame me. First off, I didn't say anything. I don't want anything to do with this because I knew it just was not right. And I was like, you don't get mad at the messenger. I was trying to give you a warning. Why, instead of stepping into your own truth, you're going to attack the messenger? I was like, listen, I'm sure they'll disclose everything in the meeting, and I'll know you knew, and I know that you'll know more. And sure enough, then it came about. It was a sting operation. All right. They have to know who they can trust as their employees. But the sad thing is that there was some big hefty charges being put on these gals. And then she was all upset. She decided instead of taking responsibility for her actions, she thought she'd play the victim. You don't understand. And I was like, stop making excuses. Now, the man you were going to leave is going to have to raise your son while you're in jail. Totally not what you wanted, but what you don't want, when you feed your fears, you're making it manifest. When you run into a direction that you think is going to take everything, make it better, and it's not right. You have this gut feeling. You shouldn't do that, especially when it doesn't feel right. And if you have to sneak to do something like that, that's not right. All right? It should leave you with this really good feeling of, I know I'm making the right decision. If it doesn't leave you with that, it's not a good decision. And any decision made on survival, that's an impulsive decision. That is, for survival, oh my gosh, I have to do this because I have to survive. Let's rethink that. That's a very old energy, and we are above that now. We are on much higher vibrational levels, okay? And so I've seen it time and time again. People fail in business because maybe they get scared. They're supposed to step into their power and trust that everything will work out. And instead, they get fearful that there's going to be a shortage of money. And so they make some choices that puts them totally where they don't want to be. But they're trying to justify it. All right? Take responsibility. Take ownership. Don't blame anyone else for things that's going on in your life. They're happening to you, for you to step into your empowerment. All right? And as soon as you step into it, you embrace it, guess what? You break the pattern from ever happening again. You stop it. And we can do that. You have to learn to trust, spread your wings and fly. Okay? And you really have to do that. And it's all of us still, I know, challenge. And that's why I share my experiences with you. Is not to compare, not for comparison, but just to show you that everyone, even us in the teaching role, are always having these experiences to increase our spiritual growth and development. All right, to help us even more. Are we taking the ownership? We taking ownership of our health. We taking ownership of everything. Ooh, sorry, my ear is buzzing. So much energy in here. All right, I see we're at 2, and they're still very strong all around me. You guys. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your day or evening if you're watching this on a replay. Thank you so much for taking time, sitting in the sacred circle with me. We all received a healing during this time as you feel the energy going around in the circle. So I thank you all for your beautiful energy and beautiful healings. And please join me next week, next Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Actually, I'm going to have a special guest. It's still going to be a TV-only show. My special guest is going to be Eddie Mullins, and he is an advertiser with True Psychics Network. So we're going to have a great hour of talking about what he does and talking about all things spiritual. So be sure to tune in. And again, if you have any suggestions for shows, any questions, any comments, you can email me. You can contact me either through TruePsychicsNetwork.com, through my website, WhiteSageWoman.com. There's so many ways to get in touch with me. Again, thank you so much for sitting in sacred space with me today. Have a beautiful week ahead and many blessings.